Hello, Flosstube. Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches, here with my update number 406, 406. Today is October 4th, 2025. Yay! October, the best month, as I always say. I think I might have said this last week, but it's the best month because at the beginning of the month, because the weather is pretty much just right. It's not too hot, not too cold yet, and um, right now this weekend starts the Albuquerque uh, International Hot Air Balloon Fiesta, which is really great. There's hundreds of balloons from all over the world um, that converge in Albuquerque, and it's like a week long party. It goes from today, Saturday, the first weekend of October through the second weekend, through Sunday of the second weekend of October. And there are, the balloons fly. Albuquerque has a great box wind setup where because of the mountains on the east side of town and the mesa on the west side of town, it creates this great box wind thing. So the Balloon Fiesta Park is on the sort of on the east side of town, between the river and the mountain, and so the balloons can go up there, and then the wind takes them basically around the city in a box. Um, and so that's fun for them and for people in the city viewing it. There's hot air balloons all over the sky, and there are, like, kind of contests, balloon flying contests, um, and everything, and festivities, and there at the Balloon Fiesta Park, there's uh, vendors of, there's food, there's memorabilia, there's all kinds of stuff, balloon pins. Um, we went several years ago. It was, I guess, after my mother had passed away, but before my dad did. So it must have been 2021. But I have like a stuffed bee, because they have not only regular hot air balloons but what are called special shapes. So there are balloons that are made in the shape of various things. Like there's a dragon, there's a puppy, a dog. There's these bees with, the antennas and feet and all that. So I have one of those stuffed bee, and just all kinds of things. Um, but anyway, so it's a great time. So that's one of the great things about October. Um, I always joke about, because Columbus Day falls, on this Monday, uh, or usually around like this year, I think it's the 13th. It's this a week from Monday, and sometimes it coincides with my birthday. So, like, everybody gets a day off for my birthday. But so this year my birthday's on Friday, and so everybody gets Monday off as the holiday. So my birthday is in the month of October, and then at the end of the month everybody gets candy because it's Halloween. Everybody gets candy. There's candy all month long basically, but at the end of the month specifically you get candy. So it's a great month. Anyway, so yes, it's October. Um, so uh, that means new WIPGO projects, and I start, like, I'm very eager to start on the first of the month, start on one of my WIPGO projects. And this year, that was my intention, like to stitch, because I was having fun stitching on Holiday Stroll, which was one of my September new starts. And so I thought, well, okay, I'll stitch on that till midnight, and then at midnight I can start on the Ferrett, which is one of my whips for the month. But I was having such a good time with the holiday stroll, and I thought, well, I just want to finish this section. I just want to finish that, and so I kept stitching on it until through the first, I guess. Uh, so this is a Teresa Kogut design, Holiday Stroll. The lighting is kind of, it's kind of dark. It's late afternoon, so it's kind of dark in here in certain angles. I feel like I feel like my screen is dark, like I look like I have a black eye. But anyway, this is Holiday Stroll. There's Santa, and he's dragging a sled with a snowman, and there's a deer. So I worked on various things. There's sort of it's hard to see in this picture exactly, but there's kind of an outline of his robe. And then this pocket. They're in this darker red crimson. It's a Weeks Dye Works color. So there's this darker red around the edge of his robe up to here, and his sleeve, around the edging of his sleeve, and then there's a line of it edging his hat, part of his hat. And then there's this brown line. And like I said, there's a pocket, and there's a gray kitty in this pocket, and all that. So, and there's another. So this crimson is one of the Weeks Dye Works colors, and then the main color of his Santa's robe and hat. The main color of that is another Weeks Dye Works color, cayenne, and then on his pants, there's one DMC color and one Weeks Dye Works color, tarragon. So what I did stitch was this darker crimson, because that was a color that I had, and you know, I bought cayenne, and I don't think I have it. I checked on my thread stash thing, and it's not listed, so I don't think I had it. And tarragon I didn't have. But I stitched the snowman and like this tree and the snowman's little stick hands and carrot nose and hat. And the one color that I have it, I think, I'm pretty sure I have it. But I just couldn't track it down. I don't know. Maybe I don't have it. I don't know. But it's the pink on the snowman's cheek, and there's the pink of the kitty's nose. So those are not done. But anyway, I did various things to work on that project. So I stitched this, and I debated whether or not to do like back stitching around the snowman. But like right here, as I hold it up in front of you, you can see him there. And I guess as I work on the rest of this design, I'll decide whether or not you can really truly see the snowman. But you can see he doesn't have, if you look very closely, there's a empty space right there where the cheek color goes. But I did make a mistake here when I went to do this upright arm. It should have been like one stitch over. It should have been above the third stitch of this arm, and it's above the second one. So it was one stitch over too close to. And because of that, his little carrot nose is one stitch off as well. But everything else I went ahead and did correctly. So because I was a little concerned that the shape of his head, the ball of snow that makes his head, would be off because of this mistake. But fortunately, it's not. I was able to just to go with it, because the scarf is right, and the lower arm is right. It's just the upper arm was wrong. But I did the little tree, and you can see the darker red of Santa's robe and the pocket. And so this star and the vast majority of his robe is this other red color. But I did the kitty except for his pinky nose, because it's that same missing color. And the snowman I finished. So I still might backstitch like a light blue color or something to define him a little bit better. like, again, I think I mentioned last week that the pattern calls for an off-white color, but it really looks, the color looks like dirty snow. So, but I might use it for Santa's beard because it's not as, you know, it's not, his beard doesn't have to be snow white, but the snowman, I want it to be white, not brown, tan, whatever color that this is. This 3866, I think, is the color that instead of white, snow white or whatever. But so this other, like I said, the other week's color goes in this, what looks like white right here in this pants is supposed to be a tarragon. But so I didn't have those colors when I was working on this at first. But my sister and I went to the attic on yesterday, yeah. And so I went ahead and got the 2 weeks colors I was missing. This is tarragon. It looks gray on my computer screen, but it's really a sort of a olive kind of green color. And then this other one, it looks orange to me on looking at my computer, but it's really a red cayenne. Yeah. So these 2 weeks colors are missing from that holiday stroll color. So anyway, that was one of my new starts for September. And then the new start that I'm started working on for October is the Ferrett. This is Cottage Garden Samplings, A Year in the Woods. The first one, because they just recently came out with the second Year in the Woods. And as a matter of fact, when I was at the attic, I saw the koala, which is, I think, the third one. Is that right? I know they have the wolf, sugar glider, and I think the koala are the three. I think just 3 have come out. Maybe there's more. I don't know. But I saw the koala at the attic, and I was very tempted to buy them, but I'm holding off. I'm not buying. I'm trying to be a little more conservative. You know, we did buy a new house, and so we're moving in there probably the 20-something-ish of this month, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, something. I don't know exactly the exact date. So I know there are going to be, you know, expenses involved with that, with just things we have to buy for the new house, and all that involved, you know. So I'm trying to be a little conservative with, you know, I don't need to buy you know, those patterns, and I've got a bazillion patterns as it is. Anyway, the Ferrett was my the first thing on my WIPGO that I wanted to work on, and so when I did it last time, I had done this flower, and I had done about this much of the Ferret's body, other than brown. I did about that much. I had about that much of the brown, and his legs. So, and I had done this cabin. I think that was it. Last time I worked on it. So this time, like I said, I had done all this, his face and all of this down to about here. So I did do this is driftwood. It's a Week Starworks driftwood, and then this is a Week Starworks color, but everything else is DMC. So so I did up to here, and I think I had done all of these little star, you know, 4 sets of 4 these little designs here on his body. I had done all of them on this side of his body, but I had not done any of these. So I did stitch all those little crosses, whatever you call them, all down here, all the way to his, this is his, I don't know if I have this folded right. Yeah, this is his tail down here. So I did all of those, and then I did more of the white here. I think all of this white is done down here. This is his hip, kind of his leg, and the rest of his belly, and his tail here. So all of this is that driftwood color, except beyond here, this color continues on here. And then there's also some little star things in gray in the middle of that tail here. So those, I've not done any of those gray diamond shaped patterns. So like I said, I have the driftwood here and then this brown, and I think I'm going to concentrate on finishing the ferret's body. My goal for this month, for this thing, is 7 days. So I've done, let's see, I did not do Wednesday, that was the first. So I worked on holiday stroll on the first. So this is second, third, so I did 2 days, and today's the fourth. So I've worked a little bit today on this. So that's 3 days, and I have 4 more days. So I want to finish the ferret, and then work on the, these things. These are a little more complicated, and I want to make sure that I don't make any mistakes. And I think there's a mistake in here somewhere. It's nothing crucial, but I did notice that there's a mistake in this, somewhere in this flower. But then the rest of the frond under here, the leaf and the stem, they're slightly complicated, so it's something that, like, I've looked at it, because usually when I stitch, I look at, like, is it going to be better to do, like, what I call out and back stitching, technically the English and the Danish method, right? So the English method is 1 stitch, 1 X at a time, and the Danish method is what I call out and back stitching. So you stitch half of this cross, and then you come back the other way to do the other half. So a lot of times, like with Fancy Floss, I usually do 1 X at a time because of the variegation. So if you do 1 stitch at a time, you get that variegation, like in this driftwood color. You can see it, it goes from dark to light, tan, brown, whatever you call it, this tannish color. And so you see that really if you do 1 X at a time. I will do, like, out and back, to start a thread or whatever, if I'm in an area, or it just depends on what'll get me to the next line, better. If it's, usually I usually try to stitch 1 X at a time with Fancy Floss. With DMC, I will usually do the out and back method, except for, again, what's going to get me to where I need to be for the next thing, So I do a combination of out and back and 1 X at a time. So that's what's kind of complicated about the stems and fronds and leaves and stuff like that. And so I looked at it and sort of strategize where I'm going to go, what I'm going to do. And so, like, doing that with those fronds kind of is kind of complicated, and it's something I have to think about. But the ferret's body is fairly straightforward in terms of doing the brown, and again doing that driftwood color and all that. The driftwood is the weak Cyworks color is pretty straightforward in terms of going 1 X at a time, and that dark brown is easy to do either way. So Anyway, so I'm hoping to finish the ferret himself completely, and then, if I have time, go back and work on those flowers. Um, but yeah, so I'll do my at least 7 days, and then the other things I have are the wandering sheep one I haven't started yet, and then I have the two new starts, which are Bee Spicy and um, Dutch Winter. So Dutch Winter, I'm going to do as one of my new. It's one of my new starts, but I'm doing it as my birthday start, which is on the 10th, which is next Friday, this coming Friday. So I think I talked last week about how, like, this model is stitched on light green gray is the color of linen that it was stitched on, and it looks kind of bluish to me, because I think it's supposed to be, blue like the sky, kind of wintry blue. And then there's a lot of white, like the ground right here. It's hard to tell. Excuse me. It's hard to tell uh, from this picture of the model, but it's stitched in white, and the white, you can see it, the white better in the the roof of this building, and just the white accents, and then you can kind of see the white snowflakes or whatever, right? So you can kind of see it in it, but like right here, it's hard to see. It's hard to tell that this is like all snow. Um, yeah. Anyway, so last week I talked about like a brown color that I was thinking about using, because I was trying to find something in my stash that was the right size without having to resort to dyeing fabric, because I'm kind of, like I said, all my dyes and stuff are in storage right now and all that. But I thought about going to my sister Naomi's house and dyeing fabric there, because at her house she has a couple of Rit dyes. One that I bought it's a green color, and one that she bought that is a blue shade. I don't know if it's denim blue or something like that. And I thought about that, but instead, I had to go to Walmart the other day to get some prescriptions and stuff. And so while I was there, I did some shopping, and I bought this aquamarine Rit dye, and it's not exactly the color that I wanted to get, but when we were at the attic, I had looked at the fabric there, and there's some fabric that was, sort of like very expensive, whatever, and I don't know if they could have been cut down, because I think some fabrics can be cut down and some cannot, or whatever. I don't know exactly, because I really almost never bought fabric there. I've bought some little sample things they had at one point, um, but I ordinarily don't buy fabric there, just because, I usually try not to spend that much money at once. And I mean, I should say, if I'm going to spend a lot of money, I usually spend it on fancy floss and or patterns. Um, so, so when we were at the attic, I was looking. I thought about, they have some fabrics that are like $18, and I thought, well, maybe something like that something in that range will work for me. But I didn't like. They had, for instance, they had one fabric that it was, I think it was labeled as some kind of blue, but it looked very green to me, and I didn't want that. Anyway, so I looked and nothing really caught my eye, saying, "Oh, I have to have that." So so I just decided to dye fabric on my own, because I thought, I had saved some containers that I thought might work for some projects, whatever. Um, One is actually a butter container. When we had, used the last of the butter, I thought, that might work. And so I had washed it really well. And then I also have a Talenti ice cream, gelato, I should say, jar. Um, and so anyway, so I had those two little containers. And I thought, well, I could buy a dye and we'll use one of those containers and just dye my own fabric here at my house. And so I did. So this is aquamarine. It's a little bit more turquoisey than I exactly wanted, but it'll work. I think it'll work really well. This has not been ironed. It's just I dyed it this morning, and I dried it outside because this is Arizona. So so this color, the modeling works really well. I don't know which side of the fabric because they're just slightly different, but I kind of think this side, but I don't know. Anyway, this will work, I believe, for Dutch winter. So the white, I think, will pop on there pretty nicely, and blue looks like blue sky, kind of. And yeah, so I think this will work for Dutch winter. So next Friday, I'll be ready to go, and it is all DMC. This is by Twin Peak Primitives, by the way. And this was a birthday gift last year, I believe, from a viewer, Teresa. Sent it to me. And this is the kit. So it came with a fabric project bag that has the design printed on there. And it came with some little goodies in the back. It came with a needle minder it has the picture printed on it, and some, I think I talked about this last time, an emery board, floss drops, this little project card. Anyway, so yeah, that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be my birthday start on the 10th. So I've got the fabric now. And then also, when I was at the attic, I bought another bottle of stitch lotion. The last one I have is raspberry vanilla. And this is not like blackberry vanilla. This is raspberry and orange, this flavor. In a way, it doesn't matter, the scent, because ever since my brain surgery, almost 10 years ago now, I really can't smell anything. Once in a while, certain scents kind of get stuck in my nose, as if they're sort of ghost scents, like I'll think I smell something, but I really don't. It's and it's kind of a pervasive, like all the time smell, and then it'll go away basically. Once in a while, I can smell certain things for briefly, like actually yesterday, I guess, when we went to Walmart. There's a Subway food place inside this particular Walmart, and when I walked in, I guess they had just baked bread or something. I could smell the it's kind of a yeasty smell. I used to complain about it when years ago when I would go to Walmart. I felt like I could smell that yeasty smell. It would get on my clothes or whatever. But now I really can't smell anything like that. But yesterday we walked in the store and I can smell that. Yeah. But like if I could get perfume, some right up in my nose, and I can't smell it at all. So so the scent of the lotion doesn't really matter. I just like, okay, raspberry and orange, that's fine. But also I bought this Barbara Anna design, Long May She Wave. They had they had a patriotic section, but they also have a section that is older patterns that are like half off. And in that half off section, they had a little patriotic bin. So I was looking for something because next year is let me see if I can get this right, the I want to say semi quin, um, quin, it's half of 200, half of 500, 250 years. So, so it's the 250th anniversary of the U.S., right? It was 1776 is the year. 1776 is the year the U.S. came into being, right? And and next year is 2026, so it's the semi-quincentennial, I think, semi-quincentennial of the U.S. So I was looking for something because ordinarily I'm not really I don't have much, if anything, in the way of patriotic patterns. And there was one I saw online when it was first released, maybe in the spring. Um, but you know, at the time I was like not buying any new patterns and stuff, and so I thought, okay, I like that one, I might buy it. And then now I don't remember which one it was, what it was, who the designer was, anything about it. So I thought, well, okay, I'm here at the attic, I'm going to look at the patriotic designs, and this was in the half off sale section area, and this is a Barbara Anna design, long may she wave, and I have seen this one before, I think maybe when it first came out, whatever. So this got this crow, and there's Uncle Sam riding on the back of the crow, and there's a flag, and it says 1776 across the top, and there's an eagle, and then this is supposed to be Betsy Ross, and she's got a needle and thread, and then there's a little dog here, and I think these are supposed to be sunflowers. It's kind of, they're kind of stylized, Quaker style, whatever. And there's a little cartouche above Betsy Ross's head, and it says 17, I think 1777. Yeah, 1777. And I don't know the significance of that exactly, of that date, except maybe, I guess, 1776 was the Declaration of Independence, and maybe 1777 was, I feel bad. It's another significant date, though. Anyway, so, yeah. And there's a little bunting across the bottom and all that. So, yeah. So I may stick, maybe I can stick, you know, 2026 in there somewhere, to, you know, maybe I can, I don't know, maybe I can find a place to put it in here. Maybe I can stick it in there, you know, I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, this is from 2013. I just saw it somewhere. Yeah. It's 133 by 149, so it's not small, but if I can start it, I don't know, at the beginning of the year, maybe I could finish it by the 4th of July. Anyway, that is one of my new purchases. And I think that is about it. So I'm going to stitch on the Ferrett, and I don't know, today is 3 days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday will be 7 days. And then I may stitch a little bit on my other WIPGO WIP project, which is Wandering Sheep by Lindy Stitches. But then on the 10th, I will start Dutch Winter. Other than that, the other thing I wanted to mention was that the Jingle Ball tickets go on sale on the 17th of October. And there's going to be some classes. There's going to be 12 designers, I think. And one of the classes, what was it I was thinking? I was considering, shoot. Oh, it was a Blue Flower Biscornu. I don't know if it's a new design. I know there's animals, um, but it's scoring you. I'm guessing a finishing class or something. I don't know, but I was thinking about that. I you know I will. There are PDF designs for some of these classes. There are kitted uh, things. So if you want a kitted uh, class, you you need to jump on that right away because they will sell out. Um, because they have to be put together, so they can only put together so many, and they don't really know how many people are gonna want kitted the kitted version of the class, and how many people want the PDF version. So if you get the PDF version, you kit it up yourself, whatever, which is probably what I'll do if I decide to take that Biscornu class. But anyway, so there's so that's one of the options I was thinking of, and it kind of depends on, because there's like some classes have like an A version and a B version, and you don't have to take both of them. You just take one or the other depending on what your schedule is or whatever, and when they're offered. So yeah, so that's I don't know when the Biscornu class will be offered. That it's a weekend. It's the first weekend of December. And it's, I think, Friday through Sunday, I want to say. Anyway, I'll put the link to Lindy Stitch's website down below. Um, and like I said, the tickets go on sale on the 17th. So if you want to go, like I said, fortunately, it's a virtual retreat, so there are no limited number of seats. There's no waiting list or anything like. You just sign up for it. And so there's more information on her website, but that's coming up in December. But so for now, in October, the month is just starting, and lots of stitching to do, and lots of lots of packing to do here at our house. One fun thing that we've been talking about is that there is a fourth bedroom in this house, at this new house, and so we're going to have a craft room, and all of our cross stitch stuff is going to go in there, especially the stuff that we're going to have for our Etsy shop. We've kind of been sort of limping along and not really pushing it too much, and I think eventually, like, if it's not on vacation right now, it will be, because like I said, we're getting ready to move, and we want to be able to pack things up and not have to be stressed about trying to put things in the mail if people want to order them. So so we're kind of winding that down for now a little bit. If it's not on vacation now, it will be soon. Um, but anyway, so having this craft room, we're going to be able to have things laid out a little more uh, logically, so that we can access stuff as we need to if people order them. And so we'll be promoting that more later on when we're set up there. But it's nice to have like a craft room where we can put all those things uh, and have a dedicated space for all of our cross-stitch junk. As well as having a little extra space for, like, for as a guest room, kind of, if somebody, my aunt or my brother or whoever comes to visit, we have an extra room that can be used, as a guest room or whatever. But the house is a smaller square footage than this house, of course, which is why we're moving, to get a smaller house with more feasible mortgage and all that good stuff. But so it's going to take some adaptation, of course, for slightly smaller, like living room, dining room area, kind of that thing. But it's got a really nice kitchen, and it's got a decent space overall. So yeah, so I think I mentioned this before, so it's going to be fun. So, it's just a matter of like, we're looking at the calendar, ooh, it's coming up very soon. Um, and, you know, there's still a lot of packing to do here in the house. So, anyway, so that's all that's coming up soon. And I'm hoping, like I said, by next Saturday to have significant, well, to finish, to hit the goal on the Ferret, have a little bit of time working on some of the things, and I'm looking forward to the 10th to do my birthday start. And the Dutch Winter is, you know, my other new start for this month. Um, so the 10th is not going to be the only date I work on it. I'm going to see if I can, you know, put some significant time into that as well. We'll see. Um, the other new start is Be Spicy, which is a small, I think I showed that before, a small design by Heartstring Samplery. Um, and actually, depending on, I haven't really looked closely at the stitching, the stitches involved, and how much, you know, but it's not very big. And so maybe that can be a start and finish, you know, in the month. I don't know how difficult it will be to stitch, um, but we'll see. So I think that's all I have for this week. Um, yeah. So I look forward to any comments you have, and that's it. Like I said, I'll have information about Lindy Stitch's website in the description box below, and that's all I have this week. All right. So thanks for watching. Welcome to any new viewers, and welcome back to my subscribers. I can't speak English. Um, yeah. So I will see you next week, and thanks for watching. Bye.